Hi, I'm John, and I'm standing here in my classroom. This is my 39th year. I'm an old teacher in the classroom, and though I was an award-winning teacher, I won a big award where I got to go to White House, and I got back from that award ceremony, and I realized that things still weren't working in my classroom, and I needed another way. And what was the better way? And so in 2007, 2008, myself and Aaron Sams, we helped develop the flipped classroom. And we developed the flipped classroom, and our students increased their scores by 1 standard deviation. We wrote a book, and we thought everything was awesome, right? I thought this was the answer. I had the privilege of traveling all over the world at that point to help schools and institutions and colleges and all kinds of stuff all over the world to help them flip their classroom. But even as I was traveling around the world, I knew there still needed to be another way. You see, we had started to experiment with mastery and competency-based learning when we were developing the flipped classroom model. But then when, that chance to travel around the world and help educators, we focused on flipped learning, on not mastery learning. And so I felt the call, I felt there was unfinished business. And so I went back to the classroom. And when I went back to the classroom, I'm now standing in my classroom. This is my 6th year back in the classroom after being the educational guru, travel the world guy. And now I came back to do mastery learning. That led me to write a book called the Mastery Learning Handbook, which is a step-by-step guide on how to do this. And mastery-based learning, big idea is that when students get the end of a concept or a unit or whatever, they have to actually demonstrate mastery. If they don't demonstrate the mastery, then they have to retake the test or get some remediation and get the test. And one of the big daunting challenges for teachers is how do I do that with 6 classes a day and 30 kids in a class? And it is daunting. In fact, but I gotta say this, I'm doing it. Watch these clips right now as you're watching. These are me in my class. You see, my role now in the class is to walk around and help kids. It's mastery learning with a flip twist. You see, I don't lecture anymore. I do mini lectures, so there's still some upfront things. But when I do this, I am encouraging students to work through the content at a flexible pace. And when they do that, it just work. I've even started infusing AI into a mastery classroom. I now have AI tutors that are helping my students with their learning process. So my book is really focused on helping teachers do this in their classroom. But how do you do this on a larger scale? So I've recently partnered with the folks at CBE Ignited, Competency-Based Education, cbeignited.org, and Richard DiLorenzo, who just came out with a book about the topic of how to do this at a systemic level. How do you make this happen on a large scale? And my heart and my passion now, I want teachers to do this because it just works. But how do you do it on a large scale? And CBE Ignited is helping to move that process, to work with superintendents and leaders to make this happen. So I'd encourage you, if you are a school superintendent or whatever, your leader guy or gal, then what I would encourage you to do is to go to the website and learn more about how to do this at a systemic level. If you want to do this just in your individual class, I've got a lot of great resources. And I get this. I've talked about how CBE and mastery-based learning is happening, but I'm also realizing that I'm asking you to do something hard. This is not easy to move, number one, your brain to move to a new model, but also to move, to understand the logistics. The logistics are daunting, but they are surmountable. I'm doing it in this room today in my classroom, and you can do it too. Hey, you can make this happen. Jon Bergmann out.